I have begged Mark West to tag along, and I hope that Kayode will be able to make that flight and tag along as well. While you'll be locked out of the door. Don't worry, you can stay where you are. But talking about people that are also sacrificing, I mentioned everybody else, but he forgot to mention members of the Fourth Estate of the REM, our colleagues who are also out there reporting the different side, reporting in the conflict areas, reporting in the peaceful areas, reporting generally. Journalists, we want to also wish you a Merry Christmas. And Kayode, ways and means, you can use ways and means to join us when we finish the show and we have to step up.
But
don't, I'm not going to explain no ways and means. Kayode says they have their way. He said it about ways and means. So having said that, let's go on real quick and look at what some of the dailies are saying today, being Christmas. And I'll start out with the Vanguard newspaper. Hard choices. High prices ruin Christmas for Nigerians. That's what the Vanguard's leading with. And see the riders, price increases range from 50% again, range from 50% to more than 100%. Consumers shift to cheaper brands, reduced quantity. Traders cite subsidy removal, naira depreciation for price increases. That's a paper I'm looking at, the Vanguard newspaper. The Nigerians go for beef as price of chicken soars. I was talking to my mom and she said, I hope you guys are going to eat rice. You know that growing up, it's only Christmas time that you cook rice. I said, yes, Mom, we're going to eat. We're going to eat plenty of rice this season. Apart from, all the other rice you eat before Christmas is not rice. It's the one you eat at Christmas that is rice.
Now that you've clarified.
Yeah. So check page 7 for more details on that. Then you see that picture in Kanu. Says Kanu welcomes Governor Yusuf from I don't know where he went to, but there he's being welcomed in that picture. But beside that, sad Nigerians are celebrating Christmas on empty stomachs. LP page 9. Catholic bishops to political leaders. Mark, you mentioned that, but see this: adjust your lifestyle to economic realities. And that's one of the questions I asked the president's spokesman about. The president's telling us to adjust. How is he adjusting as well? What's going on? A bloated or a large cabinet, larger than before? What's going on? And of course, he'll tell you specialization. Details of that 9 p.m. Tinubu to Nigerians. Be your brother's keepers. It's on page 5, but see the writers. Says, my reforms for prosperous nation have unique sacrifices. That's the word. Pledges to govern with empathy. Obi seeks special prayers for Nigeria. It's on page 5. Please permit me to read Mr. and Mrs. It's a Monday, but it's Christmas.
I hope they're...
Mrs. says, yes, I agree that last year's Christmas turkey was bigger and less expensive than this year's. But what's the difference? You used the toothpick after eating last year's turkey. You're doing the same now. So whether it's cheaper or more expensive, you still use the toothpick. But that's it from the Vanguard newspaper.
I'm going through the front pages and I want to say, can we just skip paper review today? I'm trying not to, I don't want us to be depressed. We're going to celebrate this Christmas. Never mind how bad it is. But hey, this is what the Guardian, even they have this lovely Christmas ribbon on the front page of the Guardian. On their masthead this morning. But look at unusual Yuletide as cash crunch, unaffordable prices, mar celebration. That's what you see right there on page 6 of the paper. Unusual Yuletide as cash crunch, unaffordable prices, mar celebration. You also see a breakdown of some of the prices from May 2023 to what you now see in December 2023. As at May 2023, a bag of rice was 27,000 naira, is now 68,000 naira. All the things you need to just make a lovely pot of jollof rice. If you look at everything, especially, maybe not beans. Beans now, if you want moi for your jollof rice to accompany your rice, a bag of beans has gone from 22,000 naira to 65,000 naira.
So
it's just incredible. The only thing you see here that has not gone up so much is groundnut oil. 29,000 naira to 33,000 naira. And then when you now look, I mean, they were not satisfied with just telling you that there's cash crunch. They actually took a picture of an ATM machine and put it right here. And this is a message that a lot of ATM machines are reading across the country. Temporarily unable to dispense cash. You want to perform another transaction. That's what you're seeing on the front page.
What's the other transaction? Check your balance.
I don't know. It's really annoying sometimes.
No, the other transaction is check your balance or do a transfer. That's the only other thing you can do there.
End of story. So let's make do with the transfers if we can do it. In some ways,
if the networks will let you.
If the networks will, that's another thing, you know. The amount of, I hope that they've been able to expand their networks. But the amount of failed transactions we're also getting is also not very cheery news. They have other stories right here for you. NDLEA seizes 7.5 million tramadol pills, 95,400 codeine bottles. The stories on their Metro page. Federal government condemns attacks on Borno Yobe electricity infrastructure. So bad people are certainly not resting on the oars. Now, while we have commended everybody who's working, or commended secure essential services, as a matter of fact, who are working in this season, we forget those who are working in the tourism sector. They make, because a lot of people want to go to fun spots. A lot of people want to be able to relax during the holidays, and they want to go out. They forget that there's people who are working in these places who's going to make it fun for them. So you go to a restaurant, you go to a hotel, you go to the people who are working to keep those places running in this season. And to those people too, we say Merry Christmas. I'm going to have to leave it there. Okay, just before I do, look at this. Emefiele breaks silence on looted funds kept in foreign banks. The story is on page 2 of the paper. The president is also reported here. Tinubu seeks support, promises more interventions to ease hardship. That is also right there. Leave it there for the Guardian newspapers.
Look at New Telegraph this Christmas morning, and this is what you find. National security, over 50,000 troops on duty for Yuletide. That's according to the Chief of Army Staff, and it speaks to what we started off with, those people sacrificing across board. These are some of them, 50,000 troops on duty for Yuletide. And it's for security, right? So you can stay at home with your family to enjoy Christmas. So don't just spare a thought for them. Let's go beyond just sparing a thought for them and really do something.
Is there anything we are doing as a nation now to ensure that those families do not miss their loved ones who are at work for us? I would love to look at that story and be able to tell whether or not indeed we're not, as you said, just sparing a thought in our heads. We actually thought about giving those families some things. And yes, guys, you're right. You know, there are several other people who are working. Should we also add conductors and those in the transport sector?
Very important, right?
And the fuel station attendants, you know.
Because the bus will not fill itself, you know. you need those guys.
So, yeah, but, you know, it's very important for us to consider this is a very, very important one for us, especially when we know that, on the one hand, the president is going around asking for foreign direct investment. When they come, it's only security, a secure environment that can secure the businesses.
And so their sacrifices wouldn't be in vain.
Absolutely.
So, yet again, we acknowledge all of that hard work and sacrifice. Looks like there might be some spanner in the wheel of my plan to join Malquet this morning. I see that one on top, just in that red, you know, ticker. Flight delays, cancellations take joy out of air travel.
Don't forget what Nyota said.
Ways and means.
Yes, exactly.
When we break ways and means down, it comes out to either train.
No, it's either ways or means.
I don't think I understand what ways and means this morning. But you know, that is a tale of a lot of people traveling during the Yuletide. I mean, we already had challenges with the aviation sector, and you now know, you see the pressure now. I heard about a particular airline that had to use a wide body aircraft to convey people from Abuja to Lagos, and I'm talking about the kind of aircraft that takes international flights.
Yes.
To essentially convert it for local flights. So just imagine how many people will be on the flight. 3 rows, 3, 4, 3. And yet, their flight was still delayed for hours. So that's what we have there on the front page. I'll give you just one more. And this is from the president. It says, we'll continue to implement palliatives to ease burdens on vulnerable. That's from President Tinubu. A couple more stories really for you. But hey, that's the New Telegraph.
The Nigerian Observer is also celebrating this morning. On the masthead of the Nigerian Observer, you have Santa hats, because I don't want to say Santa Claus. So there's that. And then there's the green there, meaning it's a Santa in Nigeria, I guess. But hey, what do I know? Look at the lead story of the Nigerian Observer. In Christmas message, Tinubu admits his policies impose hardship on Nigerians. Pleads for patience. Mapa, I'm going to join you this morning and say no depression. So I'll skip to the story right beside the nameplate. Obaseki felicitates Edo people, Nigerians, at Christmas. Details of that you'll find on page 2 of the Nigerian Observer this morning, and right above the nameplate. Edo Health Insurance Commission assures universal coverage for citizens and residents. Only good news this morning, Mapa, I agree with you. That's the Nigerian Observer today.
Indeed, and let's look at what Daily Trust is saying here. And yes, they have a little bit of a Christmas deck on top of Daily. He's wearing a Christmas hat there. But if you come below that, the stories are not so exciting. Emefiele Sue's investigator denies opening 593 foreign accounts. Report indicting me satanic, defamatory, ex-CBN Gov. Says Buhari approved Naira redesign, demands a thorough, transparent investigation. That's what Daily Trust is leading with. Above that, crack at NGF Secretariat over alleged fraud. Spokesman demands probe. NGF, that's Nigeria Governors Forum. There's a crack there. Alleged fraud. Spokesman demands probe. Check page 12. Indeed, not so good. 16 killed in Fresh Plateau attack. That's on page 8. You go there for details. At the bottom strip here, you have this one. At Christmas, expect prosperity soon. Tinubu tells Nigerians. National Assembly leaders, governors preach peace, sacrifice. Let's unite for Nigeria's greater good. Coming from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Go to page 6 and 7 to get more details on that. That's it from Daily Trust.
Well, I'm taking a look at Nigerian News Direct this morning, and they have this: will continue to implement palliative measures to ease burden of vulnerable Nigerians. That's according to the President Tinubu. You also see right there, LP berates federal government, says Nigerians are celebrating Christmas on empty stomach. So that's the story right there. You also see, okay, this is not good. Lagos Sales Club Quilox over noise pollution. That's right there as well. Newspapers to review cover price by January 2024. So, heads up. To be forewarned is to be what? Is to be forearmed. Well, I don't know. I think it's a good thing that the newspapers are at least telling their customers well ahead of time. And you also see the NDLEA intercepts 7.5 million tramadol pills, 95,400 codeine bottle shipments. I think it's important people celebrate responsibly this season. You know, whatever it is that you're doing, do it in moderation. I know that things are hard and people want to, you know, drown their sorrows. That's not to drink and drown your sorrows. Remember that there is a reason for the season and it cannot be to. Anyway, let us not even get it. I'm not the one to preach this morning. I'm not the one to give the sermon. So let's just do whatever it is that we do. Celebrate responsibly in this season, bearing in mind that you also have to, you know, bear responsibility for your brother. Let's leave it there for Nigerian News Direct.
I mean, you can't say that enough, Mark. Very important to be responsible. Take a look at Daily Independent, though. We will soon emerge into a new dawn of prosperity. Tinubu reassures on palliatives to ease burden on the needy. So that's the big story. And you see, RSA holders receive 137 billion naira from over 29,000 employers. RSA, by the way, is the pension scheme. Just in case you're wondering, is that Rivers State Assembly or what have you? Essentially, It is retirement savings accounts. That's what RSA means there for you. So, are you one of those? Hey, hope so. Well, Serap is perhaps not on the Christmas break, because you can see there's a Serap story suing NNPC over Nigeria's daily oil production and exportation. So, can we say Serap is one of the, or people at Serap are one of the people sacrificing during this period?
No, we can't say that.
Because they're obviously still working.
It's a story. Whatever happened before or is about to happen, and you just put a statement out.
You know, I've heard people say Serap's work rate is quite impressive. You just, you know, before Nigerians think about it, Serap has taken a move, but very important.
But it's a very it's a very good thing that at least there is some institution committed to accountability so strongly that they always make sure to bring our attention to the fact that this thing is not right. And one of the things that a number of people would also point to is the fact that most of these issues that are raised by the likes of Serap, budget, code, and the rest of them, they're usually issues around constitutionality, legality, and all those things. So but what would also be nice is to have similar kind of responses from the authorities. There is the Freedom of Information law for a reason. So if those information don't come out, I mean,
something just dropped in my mind right now. So a lot of people want a Christmas present, right? But do we ever think, what kind of Christmas present can we give our nation, Nigeria? After all, it is our nation, Nigeria. So how about we as citizens begin to take up these issues even further? Yes, Serap has sued NNPC over Nigeria's daily oil production, exportation, and the rest. So let's take that, take it to our lawmakers, take it to people in government as individuals, essentially ensure that we are all a part of this, so we don't just wait for Serap to take this case up. Let us as citizens also take the case up, because it is for our nation, Nigeria. If Nigeria gets better, we'll all be better for it. So let's give that as a Christmas present to our nation.
So
is that fair enough?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's decrypt Nigeria. Okay?
Yeah.
Nigeria is 10 members of staff that every Nigerian has. The councillor, the deputy chairman of the local government chairman, the member of the House of Representatives, the deputy governor, the member of the House of Representatives, the senator, the vice president, and the president.
Is it not 11?
Oh, it's 11. Okay, good. So
I'm not sure though. Christmas, my math might be a bit shaky, but yeah, fantastic point, actually. Every
Nigerian has at least 10 members of staff who are servicing them as far as Nigeria is concerned. So when the Nigerian talks about Nigeria, those are the people that are representing them. Now, with that in mind, can we take these issues that Kaude has suggested to the doorstep of each one of them? Because most of them are at home now, right?
Yeah.
So take the matter to each one of them and say,
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Absolutely. What do you think, right? Let us know. It's something we need to do for our nation, Nigeria. And I'm glad that we're raising these issues while everybody's, you know, resting the Yuletide mood. But let's do that for the Daily Independent, I guess.
But I think it's also important to say that while we are felicitate.
It's okay. It's a Christmas production. I understand.
As we say on the streets, Sokonos Rironos.
Okay.
It is where you are. While you are crying, you should still have your eyes open.
Oh, I see. That's a new one. That's a new one. You know, you forgive us. It's Christmas, right?
Absolutely. This Nigerian newspaper is also with us this morning, and that's trending story that's been making the rounds, and some clarity needs to come from that one. But look at what it says on the lead of this Nigerian newspaper. Blessings for same-sex couples, signs of end time. What does that mean? The details you'll find on the inside pages. Religious leaders denounce Pope's announcement on matter. Task parents on proper upbringing of wards. As I said, a number of people are still questioning whether or not that actually happened. But right beside the nameplate, how coups, climate, cost of living shaped 2023 in Africa.
The 3 C's.
That's an interesting one.
Coups, climate,
climate,
and Christmas.
Coups, climate, costs.
Then 3 C's affected the 1 C. You know, the other 3 C's affected Christmas, which is also a C. Give it to, the person, the editor who couched that story. That's a good one.
It's a good one, right? Yeah. And of course, they are also celebrating Christmas with a beautiful image on the front page, wishing esteemed readers Merry Christmas. Tinubu at Christmas. I will not let Nigerians down. Akwabi, Obamidele, Musa, Sanwo-Olu, others urge Nigerians to be steadfast despite subsidy pains. I don't know the number of years. I can't recall the number of years that we've heard it said, manage what you have in Christmas and all of those things. I've been hearing Nigerians should buckle up since the 80s.
You can almost predict the press statements from government at this time. But as you said, can we say the same of them? And it's important to show those workings, as they say. It's not enough to just tell us, show the workings. Let Nigeria see the workings. That's why we talked about CNG, and we asked, has the president converted his fleets to CNG, the ministers and all of that? If you're encouraging Nigerians, so why don't you lead by example and show that at least we're not burdening our government's budgets and by extension people by those spendings. But
Kade, when we talk about it, in recent time we've been talking a lot about the CNG and all of that. This conversation started well before COVID.
True, I remember that.
And I also remember that it was in, I think, is it 2020 or 2021, that the government of the day came up with what they call the Economic Sustainability Plan.
You remember that?
Oh, I could never forget.
One of those many plans. Yes.
And prominent among those things was the CNG program. And it was going to go up something in the region of 93 billion at the time. How far so far? Okay, so maybe one of those questions should be taken to our staff.
Sorry, we're not trying to down your Christmas, okay? We just want to ensure we have a better nation for us all.
All right, that's this Nigeria newspaper this morning. And an end at a look at some of the dailies. We're right back after now.
With your jollof rice. Sorry, what are we back with?
Cocoa, coffee.
Another issue.
Whichever one. We'll be right back though.